This kid is gonna start. And that's a tough position to put a kid in. So it's gonna be hard. He's not prepared for the NFL.
Talk to her like a shrink and fuck her like an info. And it can be as simple as it seems if you never doubt yourself and learn from everything you seen. No, wishing on a star can turn your life into a dream. You could walk on water, just don't look down at your feet. Look, told this world I was a star and I'm gonna need a stage. Cause life is short and talk is cheap, so fuck what people say. When I was 12, a crazy lady told me lead the way. I shed a tear cause it was rare, water never straight. Adrenaline pumping, heart pacing, racing, altercations we lead. Blood drip, stain the ground, broke it down, you hear?
That is Street Dreams featuring Nipsey Hussle and 50 Cent by Dave East. I tried to find it on Spotify, but I couldn't. I think it's just a leak. It leaked like 5 days ago. If you haven't heard it, man, that shit sounds so fucking good. If you haven't heard it yet, man, go take a listen. This is episode 14 of the Quarantine Podcast. Hold up. Yo, we got a call coming in. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, yo, the Cincinnati Bengals are officially on the clock. I think we all knew how it was going down, man. The first pick of the draft goes to the man, rightfully deserved, Joe Burrow. The kid's rare, man. You don't find quarterbacks like this all the time. The type of confidence this kid has, I think he's going to be perfect for the NFL. I don't know if he's going to turn Cincinnati around. I hope him a great career. Not so much because he's in my division, but the kid did it. Came from Ohio State. They didn't start him. He lost his job there and transferred over to LSU and, man, brought them the championship, exactly what he needed to do, and he's the number one pick. So we knew how that was going to go. We've all known it for a while. The second pick, I think, was pretty obvious too. Defensive end from Ohio State, Chase Young. He went to the Redskins. He's probably the best player in the draft, most NFL ready. Washington has a lot going on right now, so this is just a piece to the puzzle that they need to put together. Number 3 was cornerback Okudah from Ohio State. The first 3 picks, Ohio State, man. You don't see that very often. All 3 of them played at Ohio State. But this Okudah kid, he looks filthy. He didn't start till last season. So that's one thing we know. He came in and he was instantly a big-time player. He never got one pass interference or holding call all season, not once. The kid is fast. Ain't nobody breezing by this kid. We'll see what happens with him. So number 4 is an offensive lineman, Andrew Thomas. He's from Georgia. He went to the Giants. Best offensive lineman in the draft. Maybe the most prepared player for the NFL draft. They're going to need it to protect Daniel Jones. They're another team in the rebuilding process. So this is just a puzzle of that piece. Number 5. The Dolphins didn't have to move up. We thought maybe 3 or 4 would have traded their picks so that they could secure Tua, but they didn't have to. Dolphins went for Tua at 5. They tricked us a little bit at the end there. I think last podcast we were a little on the edge about Miami taking Tua, but this kid deserves it, man. The first time we ever seen him in that national championship, and he took his team to a championship, and ever since then, man, he's just been filthy. Obviously, the injuries really slowed him down, but in his college career, 87 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. If you tell me that's not big time, man, I don't know what is. Dolphins clearly showed interest there, and we'll have to see. They're taking the biggest chance, but they can get the biggest reward for it as well. So we're going to move on to number 6. On my last podcast, I talked about it. The Chargers put out a statement saying they may not want Justin Herbert, but they got him. They took Justin Herbert. This kid also has a huge upside. He's really smart. 4.1 GPA in science. We'll have to see what he's going to look like. He's probably not going to start right off the bat. He probably shouldn't. Actually, what am I saying? They have Tyrod Taylor. This kid is going to start. And that's a tough position to put a kid in. So it's going to be hard. He's not prepared for the NFL. From what I've watched of him, he's not prepared for the NFL. But, I mean, I guess we'll have to see. You know how teams are. The Chargers are in a crazy position because they've always had a good quarterback. The quarterback hasn't been their problem. The problem with the team is that they always have injuries. So let's say if the Chargers can stay healthy and hopefully take that team to another level. Number 7 is defensive lineman from Auburn, Derek Brown. This is Matt Rule's first year on the Panthers, so we'll have to see if he can turn that organization around. He turned around Temple and Baylor. A lot of teams wanted him. He looks like a coach that's ready to turn this team around. He's a serious looking dude, but he's making moves, and that's his first move, obviously, as the coach of the Panthers. Number 8, Isaiah Simmons, the linebacker from Clemson. This kid's been at safety. He's been at cornerback. He can do it all. He can cover anybody, and he's a beast. He gets to the quarterback too. He's just versatile. So this is the type of player that the NFL is looking for. Guys that you can put anywhere and they can give you a good outcome. So that's good for them. I think that's one of the best picks this draft, no doubt about it. At number 9, the Jaguars decided to pick up another cornerback, C.J. Henderson. They lost Ramsey and picked up a faster dude. This guy's very, very fast. I don't know if he's the type of cornerback that Ramsey is. Dude, what happened there? That was just like a blur. That kid Ramsey was a Jaguar, and then he wasn't out of nowhere. But they picked up another one, so I guess good for them. They're not a team that I'm any scared of or a playoff contender this year either. So the Browns picked up somebody to hopefully protect their quarterback, Baker Mayfield, and that is Jarek Wills from Alabama. He was definitely the best offensive lineman on that team at Alabama, and we know they churn him out like crazy. So that's the top 10 for you guys. A lot of crazy things happened in the draft after the top 10. I thought the crazy things would happen inside the top 10. Like CeeDee Lamb snatching his phone from his girl in the middle of him being drafted to the Cowboys. That shit was hilarious, man. Then at 13, the Tampa Bay Bucks decide. I keep wanting to say the Pats. The Tampa Bay Bucks decided to step up and take a offensive lineman at 13. They took the pick San Fran had, and they traded their 14th. I don't know what else they gave up there. Probably not that serious, something late. But they're clearly trying to beef up that line. Tampa Bay has to make moves, man. Like, there's no doubt about it. This team has to make moves. And I don't know what they're thinking that a rookie offensive lineman will lead them to, but we'll have to see. I mean, I have no idea, but we're gonna have to see what that does for them. So that was the trade early, and then I think the Raiders traded up. Was it the Raiders? Oh no, excuse me. So the Packers traded up to 26 from 30 to get Jordan Love. What does that mean? That kid he's no joke. You're going to draft him in the first round? Is he the heir apparent to Aaron Rodgers? Is that what we're thinking here? Is that what the Green Bay Packers are looking to do? Somebody with that kind of personality, I don't know if you want to put a quarterback behind him just licking his chops to get his spot. Aaron Rodgers, you just paid that guy. Aaron Rodgers is making some serious dough off you guys right now. You need a wide receiver. How doesn't anybody know? How doesn't anybody know that every time they have a highlight receiver in Green Bay, that's just because Aaron Rodgers is good? They need to get this guy somebody, and obviously they didn't want to do that. They decided to get the heir apparent to Aaron Rodgers, which is scary. Aaron Rodgers is set already. He's wanted to play into his 40s. What's your problem? So I would love to hear what he's going to say about this. He's probably just going to brush it off. He's going to go into the same season doing the same thing he always does and be himself. But yeah, man, that's crazy. That's pretty much my wrap up on the draft. I won't have much on the second round. I'm not too interested in watching it too much. Pieces here and there. The Steelers didn't even have a first round pick, which is annoying as hell. They already traded away, but we got a good piece, Fitzpatrick, for it anyway. A little bit in baseball, man. A-Rod is looking to buy the Mets. I'm assuming that it's not a huge piece. It's probably a small piece. A lot of people like to put it in a headline because he's a big name. Another thing in the MLB is the Boston Red Sox pretty much got away with it, man. The cheating scandal that they were investigating, reportedly, all that came out of that was the replay system operator was suspended for a year. Like, they can't get a new one of those guys. And a team was stripped of next year's second round pick. That's it. That's all the Red Sox were taking. The second round pick, like, they don't care. They have a championship from that season. Now the conversation is, will Alex come back? Because they found that Alex didn't have any part to do in the 2018 Red Sox championship scandal. He had something to do with the Astros, but nothing to do with the Red Sox. I think Alex will be back in Boston. I don't know. I don't see why not. I think they're putting the headlines out early just to see what people say about it. But I think most likely he's going to be back. Another thing in sports is the Nets are looking for a new coach. On the 7th of March, they didn't fire Kenny Atkins, and the Nets split ways. Apparently, it was agreed upon to do that. So some potential hires that I'm hearing from the league are Jason Kidd, Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy, and Tyronn Lue. We'll have to see, man. All those coaches seem pretty good. Tyronn Lue already coached Kyrie, so he knows him. So Kyrie's definitely going to have a little bit of input on that. Jason Kidd potentially put that Milwaukee Bucks team together a little bit. And Mark Jackson, the supposedly creator of that Warriors team, those seem like some pretty good coaches to have in that position. The only thing is KD and Kyrie are two personalities in the NBA that are very, very weird to deal with. I don't understand it. I don't understand these guys at all. To have to deal with these two personalities, it's going to be a little weird with Kyrie and Durant. So we're going to have to see what that comes out to be like. I want to make sure to put this out for you guys, though. I want to make sure to go over the draft with you guys just to give you guys a little bit of knowledge there, see where these guys are coming from. And that's pretty much it for sports, honestly, guys. The draft is again tonight, so I'll be watching that a little bit. Don't know if I'll be going over too much of that in my next podcast. Probably be going over my NFL Top 100 list, a little bit more to things I want you guys to watch. And that's pretty much it for this podcast. If you're enjoying watching my podcast, please subscribe down below. I'll continue to bring out the news when I hear it. Hopefully be posting another podcast Sunday or Monday. But thank you so much for listening. Quarantine Podcast out.